I can't count how many times I've actually tried to refilm this video, but every single time I find something wrong with it. So hopefully this time is the right one. So the goal today is to film this entire video without crying. Hello, if you're new here, and you probably are because I haven't posted on this channel for over 3 years. My name is Sophia and this is my channel. I create content that is a lot lighter as usual. This is not really like the type of videos I do, but I really wanted to get this out because I feel like it can help someone. I have my notes, so let's get into it. I wanted to make this video because while I was going through this season of my life, videos like these actually helped me so much. So I wanted to join in and share my testimony and share my journey. So it all started back in July of 2021 when I found out I was pregnant. It's been a while, like we're in 2025 now, so we are going back 4 years. When I found out I was pregnant, my due date was April 1st of 2022, but I should have known I would be the only fool in this story. So the beginning of the pregnancy started really normal. I was sick, yes, but it wasn't like anything crazy. I was very tired, but again, that's what you sign up for when you're pregnant. And then came my 13 weeks appointment when it was time for my first ultrasound. I was so excited to finally be able to hear my baby's heartbeat. I was counting down the days, the hours, the minutes for that event because to me it was so precious and so special. Ultrasound technician was asking me a few questions, how far in your pregnancy you are. She put the gel on my stomach and to start checking on the baby, and she kept asking me the same question. I'm like, I literally just answered, I'm about 13 weeks pregnant. And she's like, are you sure you're not like, like not as far in your pregnancy? And I'm like, I am certain that I'm not. I'm pretty certain that I'm 13 weeks pregnant, you know what I mean? She told me that day that they were able to see 2 sacs and 2 babies in the sacs, but there were no fetal heartbeat detected. And something in me broke because I didn't even know I was carrying twins. I thought I was carrying only one baby. And the same moment I find out that I was carrying 2 little souls, I also found out that I lost both of them because they both stopped growing at around 7 weeks. 7 weeks. One of them at 6 weeks and the other one at 7 weeks. So that means that for over 5 weeks, I was touching my belly, I was thinking that I was talking to my baby or my babies, and they were already gone. Like this to me is the part that hurted me the most. Like, is to walk around thinking that I'm carrying life, and really I'm just. When I started telling people that I was pregnant, my babies were already long gone. I I felt so betrayed by my body. I just felt like something was so off. I'm like, how do you not even recognize that you miscarry? My body was still very much reacting to this time as if I was carrying like a pregnancy, like I was pregnant. I was very much tired. I was very much throwing up. I was very much nauseous. Nothing could have prepared me for this. Like absolutely nothing. I had to have something called a DNC, and I had to go to another clinic a few days later. I went to the doctor on September 15 of 2021, and I was only able to have the DNC done on September 21st of 2021. An extra 6 days of me knowing that I have my babies inside of me, but they're not alive and they're not going to grow and they're done growing. And oh my gosh, it was such a hard time for me. And to make matter even worse is, and I know I keep saying that, what made it worse, but honestly, one of the other thing that made it worse was to have to tell people that I've originally told that I was pregnant, that I was no longer pregnant, and that I miscarried. It made me have to relive the pain of losing my babies over and over again. And yeah, to see the pity in people's eyes, like I didn't need that. I did not need that. After this traumatic experience, I decided to wait a little bit before trying again. My husband was also the most patient soul with me. He was so patient, so kind, so sweet. I'm so happy and grateful that he was there to support me during this time because I really needed him. I really needed him, and he was so strong for the both of us. Like, he also lost his babies. Like, he was also excited about, this new journey, and he also lost his babies, and he was really there for me, and I couldn't have been more grateful. And we both decided that we were going to wait a little bit for me to heal, not really physically, mostly emotionally, that we're going to wait a little bit before trying again. If you went through a miscarriage, you can't really shake the feeling that she did something wrong. And I was recalculating every single one of my moves, my thoughts, my even the way I was thinking. Was I positive enough? Maybe I was too negative, maybe I was too stressed, maybe I got too angry at XYZ. And like it's hard to not to overthink and analyze absolutely everything when something that horrible happened to you, because it's even though even though my logical even though my logical brain was telling me like I did nothing wrong, there's still a part of me that needed to find something that I did wrong just so I could convince myself that it would not happen again, if that makes sense. That it would not happen again because I will then have control. Because there's something about like having a miscarriage, and there's something about having a miscarriage where you did everything right and and you still lost your baby or your babies, thinking that you don't have this sense of control at all. Like anything can happen at any time and you have no control. You have no control over the outcome. And if you know me in real life and you knew nothing about this, I'm an extremely private person. So nothing against you. It's all about me. I just love keeping my life private. So New Year of 2022, I remember telling my husband, let's try again. I really felt like I was telling him a New Year's resolution or something. Like I was like, this year we're gonna have a baby. I downloaded the apps to check my cycles. I started eating in to make sure that my eggs were as healthy as possible. I tried so many things. I would have loved to have access to my Google history right now, because when I tell you I tried so many things, if Google was telling me to jump on one leg on a full moon, I tried so many things. And months after months, cycle after cycle, nothing was working. There's something that like breaks inside of you every single month, every single cycle, especially because I don't know if like I'm the only one like that, but every cycle that I was trying to get pregnant, I was thinking, oh, if I get pregnant now, I'm going to have a September baby. Oh, I'm going to have a September baby who's going to be born around this time. And every single month where my periods would come, I would have to grieve this baby and this pregnancy that I've literally just created in my brain by myself. And honestly, it's so destructive. When I tell you I tried many things, I bought ovulation tests, so many pregnancy tests. I think that if like the pregnancy test industry is still alive today, I contributed to that. Like it was mostly me. So many goofy things. If the internet was saying that I needed to take that vitamins or this vitamin, there's one thing in life is nothing sells better than desperation. I went to the doctor, I think in May of 2022, and I told them that we were trying to conceive. And they told me that I needed to wait a year. At least I needed to have tried for at least a whole year before being referred to a specialist. I don't know if it's like that in other countries, but that's how it works in Quebec. And they said that because I had a miscarriage in September, that's when the clock starts by default. And I was like, that's rich. So finally in September of 2022, we were referred to a specialist, but we still needed to wait an extra 6 months to be seen by said specialist, because this is how it works in Quebec. It's a beautiful thing to have free services, but everything takes so long. And yeah. In December of 2022, I finally got a call from a clinic called OVO, and we would be able to start like testing and everything like around January, which they gave me so much hope. I was so happy. It gave me so much hope, so much happiness. We began all the tests, all the blood samples, all the hormones panels. Finally, after like multiple tests, multiple exams, although my cycles were regular, I was still diagnosed with PCOS. PCOS stands for Polycystic Ovary Syndromes. I didn't have many of the syndromes, but my ovaries were very much still cystic. I'll show an image on screen to see so you can see the difference between like our regular ovaries and like my ovaries. By the time, like when I was trying to conceive anyways, I don't know if they still look like that, honestly. I don't be looking at it on a regular basis. As usual, people with PCOS would have, like the syndrome of PCOS would be hair on the face, on the chin, multiple pimples, a huge weight gain, which I had, and it's difficult for me to lose weight as well. But because it was only one symptom, they were like, well, how do we know you don't just like food? They didn't say it like that, but you know, which was the reason why it was difficult for me to get pregnant, because even though I had regular cycles, the eggs were actually not developing fully every cycle, and that's why it was really difficult for me to get pregnant. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm doing the best I can, okay? They told me that because of the PCOS, the best course of action for me would be to have an IUI. An IUI is an intrauterine insemination. So what they do is they take the sperm, they wash it, which is a process where they don't like soap it up, okay? So they remove everything that's like irrelevant in the sperm, so any liquid that's irrelevant, any sperm that's like not moving, and they keep the healthy ones. Also track the woman's cycle to see where it would be best to do the insemination. Sometimes they use, depending of the symptoms of the woman, they use different drugs to try to stimulate the eggs to grow. My first IUI was supposed to be technically in July of 2023. So I started taking a drug. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I don't remember the name, but it didn't work. It did not work at all. I was going to the clinic every 2 days. I feel like that's a part that no one really talks about when they talk about fertility treatments, is the amount of time you actually have to go physically to the doctor. Like, it's not like 1 time per month or like 2 times per month. Like, I was going there every 2 days for maybe like 10 days, which again, like me, I was going, but my husband also had to go. So we were both missing work. For some reason, even though I had fertility medicine to help my follicle grow, they did not move that cycle. It was such a harsh month for me. Honestly, at that time, I really felt like God had given up on me and didn't want me to have a child. I was like, maybe there's something I'm not understanding. I was crying so much. I was praying so much. I was yelling. I was asking God why. Like, I just felt like he'd given up on me, you know? And that's exactly why I'm sharing my story today, because maybe there's someone else out there who needs to hear that God is not giving up on you. God never gives up on his children. Sometimes it's not a no, it's a not now. And not let your faith be shaken up, because God did not give up on you. So October 2023, we're trying again for an insemination. They changed my medication this time. My doctor actually was like, we're switching up things here, because the first time we wasted time. We're not doing this again. We'll try something stronger because your follicles are stubborn, okay? So we're gonna try something a little stronger.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand up.
My follicles responded so good to the new medication. A little bit rougher on the body, and my hormones were out of whack. Like, I thought with the first one, like, it got me irritated. This got me like detestable. Same time that they did the insemination, when I tell you, so much hope got inseminated in me at the same time. So I just came out of the clinic. Today is October 14th, and I just had my first IUI, the insemination, and hopefully it went well. October 29 cannot come soon enough. I am so excited. Hopefully everything went well, and there's currently a little baby Tim marinating inside of me. Then finally, after months and months and cycles after cycles of seeing negative test after negative test, I saw the clearest positive that I've ever seen in my life. And it was such a beautiful moment. After all that time, I was pregnant. I was pregnant again. But the thing is, if you think that's where the story ends, buckle up. And I don't know why in my head, when I saw this positive, I was so relieved, because I don't know why I thought that's where my story ended when it was just starting. I really thought that trying to get pregnant was the hard part, when really staying pregnant was going to be the hardest part.